Your point of view character is often the last person you get for tone and voice and all that. They're your camera. You're using their sensibility to see their world, everything around her. So she was very interested in her mother. She was very interested in dealing with her situation as she moves from house to house, thinking about what's important, thinking about what's true, believing in people, and then seeing where things are really, where they really lie. That's the growing up part. So I saw her, and then a couple of years into the writing of it, someone asked me, but what about Astrid? What is she, who is she? What's her deal? Um, and I didn't know. So I did I'm going to sound so, uh, such a Californian, which I am. Um, but I do kind of creative visualizations. So I go into my sort of meditation and I sit on a bench and then I visualize some, you know, being joined on that bench by someone and I can talk to them. And I imagined that it was that Astrid came and sat next to me. And I'm in a kind of a deep meditation at this point. Um, and I go like, so Astrid, what's with you? What am I missing? And she put her head in my lap and said, Janet, I am so lonely. And it was like, oh, that was the missing piece. I heard her loud and clear. The short story began with just Ingrid. There was no Astrid at all. And there is a book called The Pillow Book of Seishonagon, which is a Japanese aristocrat in the 11th century who wrote a book about her impressions of the world around her, and very aristocratic. She didn't have much of a moral sense, not much of a sense of ethics, but a tremendous sense of aesthetics. Like there is in the Heian Empire, she was a lady in waiting to the Heian Empress, and in the Heian Empire, aesthetics were everything. Aesthetics were ethics. How things were done was the only thing that really mattered. And I thought, what if you take a person like this and put them in contemporary LA, give them a crappy job, what happens to a person like this? And what happens is they're murderously angry all the time. um, and so I thought it was like dark humor. But everybody who read that story said, you've got to give her someone to see her through their eyes because we don't want to be her. She's just so awful. I thought she was funny myself, but they did not. And so I gave her daughter. And then it wasn't funny.